Okay, good evening, everybody. I was counting on a slightly earlier start, but I did have a call from family, and just generally, I've been having a little. I don't know. I don't want to start off on a too negative of a note. This has not been the greatest day for me, if I'm completely honest, and I always feel a little apprehensive. Um, I just feel a little apprehensive start. So I'm not going to load up the game quite yet because I know the music is a big feature and I'll be talking over it. But I won't spend too much time. Um, yeah, it's I always feel a little uneasy going live when I feel like this. And obviously it's a holiday, so traditionally I have taken holidays off when I can, but I also did say that I was going to stream today for those of you who maybe didn't have someone for Christmas, and I think that's going to be coming, probably happening a little bit more for people this year than others. So it's a tricky balance. I had some plans, but I sort of shifted them around. But I ultimately, and I guess it does invite the question, so why did I decide to start streaming? One, I don't like saying that I'm going to do something and then not do it. So, the plan was to stream, and so I'll do that. And then number two, I don't like the idea of like doing a stream where I'm just sort of moping around the whole time. But one of the reasons why I've traditionally streamed on Christmas is that there might be somebody who's feeling like that, and occasionally having a nice little distraction in the form of, a voice you like listening to. It feels weird to say that about myself, but I mean, it is what I hear. If that can do a little something to sort of push people off of a bad day, I'm happy to do that. So, yeah, that's kind of where I'm coming from on here. Now, I've not played this game before. I'm sorry to hear that, Mad King Brutos. Yeah, Boxing Day is in about a little under 4 hours for me. But the province is actually starting a lockdown at that time. If you don't mind, I'll get your opinion about the levels. I feel the game might be a little hot, but it could just be me too. But yeah, we're going to be going into a new lockdown as of Boxing Day, so which I'm not that bothered by because my behavior when things haven't been a lockdown, like I have the view that just because you're allowed to do it under the guidelines doesn't mean that it's a good idea to do it. So my behavior hasn't really changed all that much, although it does mean like the bookstores are going to be closed, so I already stocked up. Not that I necessarily need more books, but yeah, I don't know. Like I said, the plan is to try and take everyone's minds off of things. Now, I've not played Hollow Knight before. It has come very highly recommended. Sure, maybe not. I kind of want to credit the Kickstarter backer. I think I'll go for the default options. Okay, because I haven't heard anything, I'm going to assume that the game to voice volume is okay. No famous. Hey, Valiant Cheese, how you doing? Oh, you were a backer on this? Very nice. I mean, I can turn it on if you want. I hope I wish they would tell me what the cap is. Because if it's less than 60, that means the stream won't be as good. Oh, thank you very much, Valiant Cheese. Yeah, anyways, so I'm going to make a small confession here just on the start, because I understand people really like this game. I have traditionally not been very good with Metroid-style games. I actually tend to get quite lost in them, and I understand that's part of the appeal. Wonderful! I feel like we've talked about this before, but I am half Australian, so Mad King Brutos is Australian. For those of you who don't know, Valiant Cheese is Australian. Actually, Cheese comes by so frequently, but I don't shout him out as often, and I feel particularly bad about that because he's been streaming a lot lately. Valiant Cheese is the developer of Hive Time, among others. I would maybe mention Supply Chain, but probably other ones are better to mention. For instance, he's the reason why we got to do the away team, which I really enjoyed. Well, your part's great. But yeah, I mean, I always highlight Canadian games, but it's actually really cool to know that that Team Cherry is an Australian developer. But yeah, so full disclosure, I think I get why people like Metroid-style games, and it's actually one of the things that people like about Metroid games that I actually find difficult. So having to kind of go around all of these, these maps and find the right parts as you're going through. So you go from like one side of the map and get the item that then unlocks the other part. If you've watched me play other games, you'll notice I really like combing over rooms and completing them like as far as possible before moving on. And so this style of game really does kind of poke at a way that I kind of prefer to play. So what I want to say is I'm not picking up a game just so that I can say I don't like it. In fact, there's someone I really specifically wanted to play this for because they've spoken very highly of it, and in general, people seem to really like this. So chances are I will like this too. But I've been reluctant to try it for the simple reason that, I also don't want to be in a position where, people's favorite game, all of a sudden I'm really, I'm being unfair to it. I won't mention who the streamer was. They're a reasonably famous one. And they were really well known for doing roguelike style games. And so I was really excited to see them play Dungeon of the Endless because a lot of their community had recommended it to them. And in fact, it fit very well with the type of game that they normally do. And it was really obvious that he was playing the game not because he wanted to, but because his community had asked him to. And you could tell based on his reaction, and in fact his response to it was really, really negative. And I don't like doing this for broadcasters, but I actually felt not quite mad, but I felt really let down by that because I feel like the game was never really given a shot. So this isn't going to be it's not you, it's me kind of a thing. I'm not actually coming in expecting to dislike Hollow Knight, but I also think it's kind of helpful to sort of set the table a little bit to say that traditionally this is not the kind of game that I have always responded very well to. And so I'm going to be interested in seeing how well this game sort of overcomes that barrier to entry for me. And the other nice thing is I really don't know a lot about what it's about. So I realize listening to the sad music, this is probably not the best Christmas theme that I could take on, but I don't know. I'm interested. I want to see where this is going. And again, I could be totally wrong in terms of the Metroid connection. So it's disappointing when someone with an audience presents negative feelings without offering the context for how the game. Yeah, absolutely. And I think the other thing too is that I still genuinely believe that broadcaster probably would have really enjoyed Dungeon of the Endless, save for the fact that I really felt that they were annoyed that they had to be playing it. Especially because a lot of eventually when they started trying to give their reasoning, it was the lighting's dark or something like that. And I'm like, well, it's got dungeon in the title. The dungeon game is too dark. Darkest Dungeon was too dark for me is maybe, I don't know, I kind of felt, hey, the Eyes of Sin, I wasn't expecting to see you. You've touched a couple games where people with massive audiences pushed a stack of abusive negative attention toward a developer. As a result of that, it really bums you out. Hello, Uncle Cranky. Good to see you too. You're not talking about Caves of Cud, are you, by the way, at all? Anyway, sorry. I will take a minute. Eyes of Sin might be streaming Hollow Knight more regularly. Because well, sorry, she's planning on streaming more regularly, but she might be streaming Hollow Knight because I know she really loves this game. In fact, I don't know, actually, you can... I'll leave it to her to say the exact details of me, Hollow Knight, and her. But if you like this game, I'm definitely going to give her a very strong recommendation. And she is the person who did these lovely emotes. And a lot of them... Oh, where's my last one? A lot of them are actually sort of her doing things unprompted. My favorite one is, in fact, one that she had very little sort of feedback on, and it was just largely the work that she did. And I believe she is available for commissions. But in addition to that, she has a Ko-fi page, which if you... I don't have my browser open anymore, Eyes of Sin, so if you would like to link that, please feel free to do so. I'm sorry I wasn't better prepared, but I didn't think that you were going to be... I didn't think you were going to be in here. But yes, this is how she makes a living. So if you have some art that you would like to commission, or... Hey, Night Valian! You're not the only one who's favorite. And I believe, where was... This is quite literally what was in chat just before you joined, Night Valian. But yeah, great. Thank you very much for doing that, Eyes of Sin. But yeah, so yeah, this is the right group to be watching this with. So let's jump in and see where it's going. Oh. In the wilds beyond, they speak your name with reverence and regret, for none could tame our savage souls, yet you the challenge met. Under palest watch you taught, we change, based instincts were redeemed. A world you gave to bug and beast, as they had never dreamed. From Elegy for the Hollow Nest by Mon the Teacher. Another big reason for this is I understand this is a Unity game, so I always like highlighting that when... just because I think people give Unity a bad rap when it doesn't deserve it. Although Valiant Cheese will want me to point out Godot too. At the risk of spoiling, all you will say about this game is that it's an absolute treat. Man, I'm going to feel so bad if this doesn't work for me. You know, given the atmosphere too, I was going to say, the other one I was thinking of playing was Frostpunk, so apparently I've chosen all the bad, or like all the melancholy games. Okay, sorry, I'm just trying to get my controls, so... There we go. Night Valian's been doing Frostpunk. It's been a lot of fun. Unity's a tool. Sometimes tools can be used poorly. Sometimes it can, yeah, that's my view of it. Actually, I was also meaning to ask you, Eyes of Sin, because last time I saw your coffee, you put on a bunch of photography. Are you still able to use the tablet at all? Assault Android Cactus, another Aussie game, is your go-to example for very well executed Unity game. This game is so violent. See, already it's facing me with two paths. There are some frame skips happening. Is that happening for everyone too? Higher beings, these words are for you alone. Your great strength marks you among us. Focus your soul, and you shall achieve feats from which others only can dream. Collect a soul by striking enemies. Once enough soul is collected, hold A to focus the soul and heal. I don't see any... Not that you've seen, I thought Knight was calling you speedrunner for a second. Okay, so I notice every once in a while the FPS drops a little bit. But it's actually in this still moment that I'm seeing. I don't have any drop frame warnings, but yeah, if somebody could let me know. It may also be, so I've been streaming at a higher bit rate lately. So if the source is not working for you, you may want to move the quality options down. But yeah, if you guys can let me know, it's not a particular hardship for me to lower the bit rate in that, but I was hoping to sort of show this stuff off in all its glory. It's a very nice looking game for sure. Are any of you Blandy? It seems to be skipping even at 480. Okay. Oh yeah, I'm seeing the odd stutter. Ah, curse you, OBS. Huh, okay. Well, I may need to reset the stream. Yeah, it's not going to let me change. You know, I actually have a feeling this is this might actually be a Streamlabs OBS thing. But tell you what, it's not that hard for me to set it back. So I'm just going to turn off the stream for a second. I'll be right back, and I'm going to bring it back to the old settings.